Welcome guys, welcome back to another Weekend Freight where I'm going to cover the nation and show you the freight. If you get a good idea where the high freight volumes are, you're going to find an area where you're going to get the high freight rates. So if you're new to this and you're just tuning in, and if you like what I'm about to show you, in the description there's a link, click it. They're going to give it to you for free to try out for 30 days. And as I always say, free is free and don't haul cheap. With that tool, no matter what lane you're in, whether you're familiar with it or not, you will have the competitive edge when dealing with brokers. And what I want to do here is I always like to take a look at this national load count. Today is the 8th. It's 12:13 p.m. And I'm looking at the load to in and out ratio. And what that means is, I'm going to use Alabama right here, for example. It's showing 592 loads going in versus 399 coming out. You could say loads or you could say trucks. Either way, that shows 592 trucks are headed in and there's 399 available loads. That means there's more trucks than loads available, so you're going to get a lower rate because, you know, at the end of the day, it's all supply and demand. What you're needing is something like Arkansas. They got 366 loads going in versus 653. That means for that 653 loads available, there's only 366 trucks or loads going in. So that market is offset. That's in your favor. That's where you want to go. And what you're doing is, what I do is just scroll down through here and just get a little brief example of what's going on. Just as a little reference point. But where the real juicy stuff is right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and what I do here is I just check all the freight hubs around the nation. I'm going to start in Atlanta, and I'm going to go around the nation and look at different freight hubs and find which areas, which regions, which states, has the most freight, their highest freight volume. And the ones with the highest freight volume, like I said a minute ago, they're going to have the highest freight rates. Let's see, today's 8th. It's for the van freight. 120 mile radius is what I like. Anything within about 200 miles or within about 2 hours. So Atlanta right now is showing 595 loads at 12 o'clock afternoon, which is pretty decent. I should have done this earlier while I was unloading at 9 o'clock this morning. And you can click this little offer, and this is going to show you brokers that's putting their offer out there. They seem to get more calls. I've heard them say that at a convention. They get more calls when they put an offer like this. Me personally, I don't go by that. I just kind of use that as a reference point, and it gives you an idea if the market's hot or not. And like $5,000 on this load right here, you can look over here on the average. They ain't got enough data to show to 15, but right now it's a 30-day average. The average for the last 30 days has been $4,051. So to show, seeing that they're offering, trying to get this load pushed for $5,000 shows that they need it moved. They have more loads than trucks available. Or like this one right here. See, this one's above average as well. Let's see, it's a different one. See, this one's a little lower. This is why this tool right here is so handy and convenient. If you didn't know any better and you called this broker right here and you wanted that load, and they fluffed it up, made it out like you was getting a lot of money on this load for $4,200, not knowing that the average carrier is getting about 51. You just left almost $900 on the table. That one load right there just about paid for the membership for the whole year. So that's why I always say it costs you more money not to use this, just for this tool alone. That way you know what's up. Let's see, Stockton. And this is another good one. 4,000. The average is 33.87. So anyway, this little tool's, let's check out Birmingham. See since you got the gist of what I'm doing and what I'm looking for, and what you can look for as well. I'm gonna try to speed up the process and make this go a little faster, and see if I can't get through this and get you guys off here. All right, 318 exact loads in the Birmingham market. In Dallas, let me add this. I've had quite a few conversations here lately with people, and I keep stressing to people, your most important load is not the load you're booking right now. Your most important load is the load you're going to book next. Think of it like playing pool. When you're playing pool, you got the cue ball and you've got the option to hit 4 different balls. Which ball are you going to choose? Well, naturally, you're going to choose the ball that's going to line you up for the next shot. That's the one you're going to shoot for. Same way with freight. Dealing with a spot market, that's what you do. You pick the load that's going to put you in the market for the next best move. So let me stress that hard there. Your most important load is always your next load. And if you see a load going to a particular area, say you're in Dallas right now and you see a load going to Minneapolis and you're like, I don't know if Minneapolis is a good area. What you do is you reference that you do a spot check for Minneapolis right now. If you're going to show up 2 days later or 6 days later, it don't matter. Look and see what the freight rates and volumes are right now before you book load 1. That way, when you get to Minneapolis to look for load 2, you kind of know what's going on in that area. And what I realized over the last few years of doing this is, whatever that market's doing today, you're pretty safe for the next week or two. It's going to be doing about the same for the next week or two. So if you check out that load and you go into Minneapolis, and you pull up Minneapolis and there's 600 available loads in a 100-mile radius, you're pretty safe bet. Even a week from now, it's still going to be about the same. Because what I've noticed over the years of doing this, markets don't go from hot to cold overnight. Very seldom do they do that. They usually stair step down. You got 2-3 weeks in advance before you know what's going to go on. So whatever the market's doing now, whether it's tomorrow or next week, it's going to be doing about the same. That trend usually takes a few weeks to even get to a dead market. So just some food for thought. That's some tips. That's what I do. And yeah, anyway, moving on. Dallas, Texas, 874 loads in the Dallas market. Let's shoot down to Houston. See what the Houston market's going to bring us. It's usually just like normal, neck and neck, 849. I'm up here in South Dakota right now, man. I tell you what, my internet's just not all that great. Phoenix, 138. I've seen it better, but I've seen it a lot worse. Let's check out Los Angeles. Los Angeles. $391 exact loads in 120-mile radius. This 899 just means there's some loads over this 120-mile area or 20-mile radius. That's what that means. But 391 for the exact. Let's go up to Tracy. That's the NorCal area. Bump this up to about 200 to get all the Sacramento and East Bay area, and all in between. 227. So, excuse me. Cali's not that hot right now. Let's go check out Portland. $125. Yeah, you don't want to be in Portland right now. See what Seattle's going to bring us. 61. Yeah, even worse. Let's come back down to Kansas. Kansas City, 536, not too shabby for Kansas City. Usually when Kansas City's like that, St. Louis is even hotter. And it is 808 loads in the St. Louis market. Let's shoot down south and go up the seaboard, and then we'll come back to the Midwest. Let's check out Savannah. We'll check out the Carolinas. 257 in the Savannah market. It's all right, I guess. Columbus. There we go. You gotta stick around at the end of it. When I get done with this, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do for the next week. I hadn't even put together a plan. I ain't even looked at this board for the last few weeks. I ain't even looked at the board until today. But Columbia, South Carolina's got 546 total loads. Not too shabby. Let's check out Charlotte, North Carolina. $563 loads in the Charlotte market. Richmond, come in. 588 in the Richmond market. Let's check out New York. New York. And I'm gonna bump this up to 200. $3,200 loads. There's a lot of freight up there. Let's, just for the sake of shits and giggles here, let's check out Allentown, PA. And I know this is going to get a lot of the same freight, but a lot of people, including myself, like to go up to PA, and that's about our stopping point. So we go to Allentown, PA, and right there in that vicinity, we bounce back out. Me personally, I like to grab a little short hop and go right straight to Ohio and get back in a good market and then run. So 50 miles of Allentown, there's 375 or 70 loads exact. All right, let's go. Let's go down over to Columbus, Ohio. Then we check Indiana. 1,152 in the Columbus market. Hot, super hot. Indianapolis market, what you got? 1,300 loads. Super. Let's check out. There we go. Love autofill. Detroit market's 562. Let's check out the Holland market. Get the other side. And let's shoot down from there and go down to 497 in the Holland market. That's looking pretty good. Let's see, Minneapolis. Minneapolis, update, sucker. 666, yeah. And Chicago. I don't know about you guys, but just seeing these results, I know what I'm going to do for the next 7 days, possibly next week. Yeah, look at that. Chicago, 2,100 loads. It ain't no secret, guys. The numbers don't lie. Facts are facts, and I just showed it to you. If you want to make the best freight or best moves this week is stay in the Midwest. That's what I'm doing. I'm up here in South Dakota right now, about to head over to Illinois. I'm about to get into that Chicago market, and I'm not even booking a load yet. I'm gonna wait and book day of, because let's see here, book day of. Let's see what kind of offers on day of booking versus pre-booking. You go into a market like this, no need to pre-book that stuff. Wait till you get there. Get a hot load. West Palm Beach. Look at that. 3,700. Not that I want to go that far down in Florida. But I'd go to Orlando. I'd go for 34. Man, maybe. I don't know. Getting the Gallus. Anyways, guys. Excuse me. If you're still hanging around, you rock. If you like what I just showed you, give me a like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I put videos out on regular, all things trucking, guys. Let's kick off this 2020 strong. See you, bye.